Good day, guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ademola Badmos. If this is your first time, please do not forget to like and subscribe. So in the previous video, we've started this spaghetti code thing, which is pretty ugly, and it is really hard to maintain. In fact, you might, if you leave your code for a very long time, you might come back and not understand what you've done because it is really hard to trace and debug. So we hope to be able to conclude these spaghetti codes in this particular video. So in the next video, so that the video after it, we begin to refine our code and use better ways and better practices of writing scripts in Python and Selenium. So let's begin. So in this code, in order to try to reduce the time that we'll spend on the video, I will just try to show you how you can type on a particular field. I will show you that, then I will also show you this. But why I want to stress on these particular two things is because the page loads. So I'm trying to um, emphasize on the fact that it is very important to run your manual test, understand the application you want to automate before you begin to automate. Now, what do I mean by that? If I put my email here, my personal email, if I put it here, you see what happens? It actually loads again. It means the page loads again. So, which means if I put this, I need to do also insert a wait condition and see that the page has loaded properly again before I continue. So, that's being said, we need to be careful of that. Then again, if I change the country here, two things will happen. Just check. Hold on. Let me pick this is the state, sorry. Let me pick a country. Let me pick Nigeria. Hold on. You see that the page loaded again and it changed the shipping method and also changed the state field. So I am going to do these two, right? And I'm going to also check their conditions. So after I check the conditions, I will pause the video and I will move on with the rest of the, I would just pause the video and I'll do the rest so we can come back to it. So let's get right into it. So this time I will use Ranorex, right? I'll use Ranorex. I will not use Ranorex. I will use Expert Checker. You can use what's it called? You can use this Expert Checker by just installing it on your, just adding it to your extension on a Chrome browser or any Chrome-like browser like Chromium and Brave. I use Brave for instance, so it works on Brave. So that being said, let's just try to identify it. So I will try to identify it by its tag input and see what happens. So I have how many inputs here? Input, I have 29, but let me look at something unique to that input first before I continue. Maybe it will change it for me. So I have a username. Let me use the name and user as username. So let me copy that and add that to it. In order to add that, I need to open a square bracket, paste that in, and it has reduced it to 3 matches from 29 matches. So I need to reduce this. One way I can reduce it is by tracing it back to its parent. So if I trace it back to its parent div, let's see if that will work. Still 3 matches. I can go further and check the parent of the next div, which is also a div. So I add that to it and see if that will work. Now, still doesn't work. Let me go a step further. And if it doesn't work, then I need to change the way I want to identify it because it shouldn't be too long. So let's put the other tag there, a field set. And this worked. It returned just one what's it called? It returned just one entry. So we can use that. So let's get on it with it. So remember that we just clicked a button to get here. We click proceed to checkout button. So we need to also run a wait. So I'll say wait until the element expected condition, the element is located by, when the element is located by CSS selector, by which identifier, by this identifier. So once it is located, we can then driver, we can find it by CSS selector and paste that in. Then this time around, we are sending a key. We are typing into it, and the command to do that is send keys. So what we want to put into it is an email. So I'll say badmos.test@yopmail.com. So that should do the trick. And because it will load up after doing that, I should also be wary of that. So let me just write another wait condition until expected condition, the element is located, like the element is located. What element should we locate? Let's see that in a bit. So what element should we locate? Let's locate the first name and see that the first name is loaded. So this first name is loaded. Is also an input, and it has a name attribute too. So let's copy that and say input, right, and first name, right. So let's see that this is loaded. We can put that here. Then we can go ahead with the select that we want to do for the country. So now when we pick the select tag, so it has an attribute to it has attribute. I want to stick with name. You could use anything else, but I just want to stick with name. Name is country, so we can come here just to check that it is unique. Select country ID. Yeah, it is unique to it, so we pick that. And just like we do with select, we need to first create a variable country and driver. We find the element by CSS selector. This is the element, and you can now create a variable select or any variable name and put the select class. The select class, then the select class inherits that locator. Remember, I mentioned in one of the videos before that the select inherits the locator while the action chains inherits the driver. So we have select. We'll be using by value. So let's stick to value. So what's the value for Nigeria? Let's check from the select tag. These are value equals AF here, but let's look for Nigeria, French, Germany, Malta. We are close. Netherlands. Nigeria is NG. So we go here and we add NG to that. So once we've selected it, we saw what happened. We saw that when we selected, this became selected. So we can look for this attribute, this radio button, and look for it. It's an input, it's a type radio, and it has values as well. Name, no, I don't think I want to know. I want to use the name. Let's use, it is checked. Let's use the attribute that it is checked. So we can say an input, and if it is checked, so let's just use that the attribute is selected. Okay, so we can say after we select this, then we can wait until the expected condition that the element located to be selected. So that means we want to wait for it to be selected. So once it is selected, we can say we've done it. Right now, let's just make sure that we have this done. So let's try to click the next button. It would fail. It will tell us some fields are required. So let's see that happen. So we click on next. and that is a button, and it has a data role. Let's use the data role attribute for it. So let's see if that is unique to button with a data role there. Yeah. So we can copy this. Let's copy this and let's take that along and say wait until expected condition. We don't even need to wait, we just need to find the element and click it right away. So you can say driver dot find element dot by CSS selector, and we pick this button, then we should click it. So let's test this and see. Okay, okay, okay. What's going on here? It's my internet just keeps lagging. Forgive me. Okay. You see, it clicked it, but if we are taking a snapshot or something, we would have seen that it said that everything, uh, that some fields were required, so we could not move on. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now and populate the rest. Then we move on into the next steps. So let me quickly go ahead and pause it. Okay, so we are done with that. Let's test what we've done and see. Um, okay, so we've been able to go ahead and place the order, but we have an issue with this. It says element not clickable. That is not so true, because we got the place order and we're able to verify that it has a text. So let's just try that again and see. Yeah, that works. So a few notable changes is that in the in this particular scenario here, it would be a bad practice when we were here. Let me just get there again. Let me just quickly get there. Or before we do this, let me remove what is here then. Let me delete this. So here, we're waiting for an event, right? We know that once we click add to cart, there is an event going on and it is tied to this. But we can actually just look for what we need here by just waiting for the text to be present. So I took the liberty of just changing the condition. So instead of having two conditions here, so I just went ahead to just change it to a condition where text to be present in element and the text should be 1. So once that is present, it can just move on. So one of the things I did to change, to improve what we've written in the code. So that being said, I think this puts us somewhere. But on a final note, let's just add something to you to verify that we have we have successfully purchased something. So we continue here. So let me just add some text here so I can see Chan. Let me just add random text quickly, and we move on, and we first change this Nigeria. Okay, so 23401, and we change this to, so we have that done, and then the next thing we say next, and then we place the order. So we need to just verify that this is done. So we can verify that with anything, maybe the business rule dictates that once a successful purchase is done, there should be a continue shopping button, or it says that there should be a create an account button because the user has not created an account before, or it says that, okay, you should just see this message. So it could be one or all the three, or either of the three. So you are at liberty to decide how you want to verify your stuff. So for example, I would just want to verify this text. So let's try to get that text individually. So it's an H1. You see, I know an H1 would be unique. So with the span, so I can do this and remove that, and we can come here and say wait until we can use that text to be present too. It is a good thing. So we just wait until the text to be present in the element, right? By CSS selector, and what we want to check is this, and what we want to, the text we want to check there is thank you for your purchase. So once we check this, we can go ahead until, sorry, not unit. Someone would have seen that until. So the next thing we can do here is say let's get a variable for the success message, right? And say driver dot find element by the CSS selector, and we have this, so we paste this there. No, sorry, that's not what we're supposed to paste there. This is what we're supposed to paste there. Span dot text, so the text should be collected. So we can now make an assertion. So since we want to verify it, we can make an assertion and say that assert that the that success message is equal to thank you for your purchase. So this, if the assertion is correct, it will just run through. If it isn't correct, it runs an error. So let's wait for that, and we can say we've actually ended this. Okay. Yep, everything works. If it did not work, if the assertion was wrong, let me say, if the assertion was wrong, it would have thrown an error here. So it means that we have done this successfully. So this brings us to the end of it. And do not forget, that is a bad practice. Do not learn this and think you're fine with it. It is a bad practice because it has so many bottlenecks in terms of maintenance and in terms of understanding and readability. So in the next video, we will introduce page object modeling, which is an easier way of understanding and a quite easy to maintain approach to writing scripts. Thank you for getting this far. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.